Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you the Ohuhu marker refills. Now, super funny because I just did a markers for beginners tutorial right here. Check it out. And as I went to go use this light blue, I was like, oh, this is almost out of ink. Too bad I don't have a refill. Then I went and opened my package of refills that Ohuhu sent me, and they sent that one. Totally random. But anyway, enough said about that. Let's check out the refills. I did not buy these. Ohuhu sent them to me. They were kind enough to do so. But I've been meaning to check them out because, you know, the biggest comparison between Copic and Ohuhu was being refillable. The nib, of course. You can replace the nibs, but you can also swap the nibs on your Ohuhus. So it looks like we have instructions, and it tells you how many times you can refill that particular series of markers. So the brush nibs, the brush and chisel nib ones that I have are the Honolulu. So each one of these refills can be done about 5 times. And then you do approximately 3 mLs of ink for the refill. That's where it can get a wee bit tricky, is refilling your markers. But with Copics, I put mine on a scale. With Ohuhus, I'm not going to sit and refill them all the way. So I had to find them in English. But let's see. Oh, put some paper on your desk so you don't make a mess. Always a good thing. Let's open it up and see, because I think it's honestly like a Copic refill. Oh, me and packaging are never a good thing, by the way. So this is 16 mLs, and like it said, 3.3 mLs for the refill. Actually, these are different than the Copic ones. Watch. I'll grab one. All right, here is a Copic one that I have. This is 12 mLs, 16 mLs. This is not as squishy though. This is pretty squishy, but it'll be interesting. So it has the color name and almost like it's like the exact marker replica. Thought that was kind of cool. All right, let's gently pop this open because I am going to put my plastic sheet down. Okay, so you screw that off, and it's just a twist. And I do like that it has the notches showing you between the mLs. The only thing is, the best way to do a refill, same thing with Copics, right? You don't know how empty this is. It's not completely empty because I still had color when I went to use it, so it's not fully empty on me. That said, the best way to do this is what I did with Copics. Take a brand new marker, from the manufacturer, stick it on a scale, and that'll tell you how much it weighs with ink. Then from there, you can put your marker. So say I'm taking this one and I put it on a scale and it tells me the new weight. That would tell me how much ink I'm actually missing. Because again, I'm not completely on empty here. They do tell you the volume of ink in this little chart, but that's how much ink goes in here, not necessarily how much this whole bad boy weighs. Does that make sense? So when you're refilling, like when I refill my Copics, I tend to refill before they're empty all the way. So I weigh them. With Ohuhu, we're going to wing it. I'm probably going to refill on the brush nib side. So let's do that. So I also have these brush nib replacements, which comes with a nice handy set of tweezers that really help you take out the nibs. Same thing with Copic, you can get the same type of thing. But one thing with Ohuhu that Copic can't do is reversible nibs. So say this nib was already fried. I would just grip here. Now it does get a little juicy when you still have ink in there. Pull it out. Now say this nib was fried on this end, I can reverse it and just install it with this nib up because it's good to go. All right, so then you twist this off and you try to not be super messy in the process. But knowing me, so I'm just going to squeeze. Let's see, they're hard to squeeze, but that got me a good chunk of ink in there. Now I'm going to put the lid on this. Of course, keep your marker upright because you don't have a nib holding that ink in. But it's kind of difficult to squeeze this and see how much is going out. All right, so I am going to put my nib back in. You want to be kind of gentle when you do this. Oop, there we go. Ooh, it's extra juicy now though because I just put ink in there. All right, and we have a filled marker. Look at that. Nice and quick and easy. They sent me a couple other colors. I told them just to not send me any grays because I actually don't own the grays, but it looks like they sent me PB1 and what is that, black? Oh, actually I need to refill my black. So yeah, that is how you use the Ohuhu refills. It's actually incredibly simple. It's nice too because they give you the Ohuhu color because they have a different coloring system. Don't get me started on that. And then you can buy these little brush nib replacements, which are nice because they're slowly but surely trying to compete with Copic by doing things like this. Nib replacements, ink refills. A lot of their ink refills are out of stock right now and they don't have every color available with a refill. So that is the one thing, but it does take time to build those up, but still pretty simple and nice because ironically, I had just run out of this one while doing a tutorial and it happened to be the color they sent me. That's just freaking funny. So I'd love to know if you've been using the refills, what you think. Now naturally these are cheaper than Copic refills and have more in them, whereas there's been that kind of scandal, as people like to call it, I just say whatever, that they just made these refill bottles smaller, which they did, and then charged the same, if not more. So there's been that upset. But I mean, it's 12 mLs, and we are comparing a budget marker, I call it a budget because it is a budget compared to Copic, to Copic. So you got to keep that in mind. But this is a hefty amount of ink, and the fact that I can quickly replace it is nice. I do recommend getting tweezers similar to this. You don't necessarily have to buy the Copic brand or Ohuhu, but you need grabber ones, not the type of tweezers you use for your eyebrows, but little grabbies like this, because if you use normal tweezers, you're going to have trouble getting the nib out, but you can also damage the nib, which will not only disrupt ink flow, because if you pinch it too hard, it'll affect the flow to the other end of the nib, but you also waste a nib if it's permanently damaged, and it'll be a lot messier when you're squeezing it out. So don't use pliers or normal tweezers. Get one of these. This Ohuhu nib refill set is actually super cheap, and I haven't actually replaced any nibs because the reversible, so a single nib on my markers has lasted me, I've had this actual set here for 4 years and I have only reversed nibs on a few of them. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, love to know your thoughts on the Ohuhu refills, not Copic, the Ohuhu marker refills, and let me know if it works for you. But that's how you refill with Ohuhu. You don't have to do the crazy weights and measurements if you don't want to. There's really no need, but if you want to get that in depth, you can. I just prefer to be lazy and put some ink in there, especially if I know it's empty and I don't go crazy with the ink. And you can, because it has such a long nozzle, keep an eye on it because you do not want to fill it past the chamber here. So as long as you're keeping an eye on it, you're fine. But if you want to get crazy, weigh a brand new Ohuhu, get the weight of it so you know how much it weighs with ink. Then weigh one that's empty and just do the math in your head, and then you know how much ink to put in to get back to that weight, and then you can just put it on your scale. So that's the way if you want to be accurate. The other way is to just squeeze it in and hope for the best. All right, I think we're good for now. So until next time, take care. Bye now.